In today's video, we're going to be reacting to when streamers break the law for views. Now, this video is made by Timmy FNBR, who makes some amazing Fortnite documentaries. I will leave a link to his channel in my description below, and let's get into the video.
For the last few years, streamers have taken over the world.
Heck yeah. Oh!
Dude, I'm watching the stream while you try not to laugh, but...
And in the constant pursuit of making the best possible content,
Absolutely.
sometimes streamers go
Whoa.
too far.
Oh my God. You're fine.
Today, I will be talking about 4 streamers who got banned, canceled, and even arrested, all because they went too far trying to get views.
Dang.
Our first streamer is StableRonaldo. Ron is
Ronaldo,
one of the
what?
biggest streaming names to come out of the game Fortnite.
Absolutely.
And ever since switching over to IRL content and joining FaZe, he has seemed unstoppable. His streams get insane amounts of views, and he's making some pretty crazy and entertaining content. If you've been
What the
following
heck?
Ron for a while, you would also know that he loves cars and making content about them. He even has a full second channel talking about his cars called The Stable. And this channel doesn't just highlight some normal cars that you or me might drive, it shows off some of the most expensive cars in the world. These cars are not just designed to look good, but also to be able to go incredibly fast. So sometimes you want to go and show off the speed of your cars and drive a little bit above the speed limit. Or in the case of Ronaldo, a lot. And since Ron does a lot of IRL streaming, sometimes he chooses to drive above the speed limit while also streaming on Twitch. One of these times was on June 25th of 2024, where Ron live streamed himself driving recklessly through LA traffic.
That's scary, man. I don't know how people do that. I could never. Oh! This car jumped?
This is obviously incredibly dangerous, and if anything went wrong,
jumped, huh?
he could have put a lot of lives at risk, including his own. And because of this, Twitch decided to ban him. Eventually, Ron was unbanned and went back to streaming like normal until he was caught on stream running from the cops. Okay, I might have exaggerated, but although it's clear here that he's not in an active police chase, you'd think that him having a cop right behind him might be a deterrent from driving this speed, especially since last time he did this live on stream, he got banned. And although StableRonaldo has gotten unbanned and has seemed to improve his behavior a little bit when it comes to driving on stream, the next person we're going to talk about is way more reckless on the road.
Yeah, I know, this guy
even almost died in a car accident live on stream. Jack Doherty started making videos back in September of 2016 when he was just 12 years old. His channel grew quickly, and by January of 2018, he had already hit 1 million subscribers. He started off by making silly little challenges and prank videos, but as he got older, his content got slowly crazier. And that might be a little bit of an understatement, because this guy has genuinely become the most hated content creator perhaps of all time, and for good reasons. He takes clip farming to another level. It's more than just fake drama or embarrassing himself in public, it's borderline harassment. And although he has done a ton of bad things, I'll save most of it for another video because there's something specifically he did on stream that I want to talk about. On October 5th of 2024, Jack was doing an IRL live stream on Kick.
Look at that. Look at that fog. It's going in here. Oh my gosh, I can't see anything. It's terrifying.
It was a rainy fall day, and Jack was absolutely booking it down the highway in his very expensive and even faster McLaren.
You can't see shit. I'm most likely going to crash this car. No, I'm kidding. Hopefully not. And the airbag I don't even think works. I'm cooked.
Also, this is besides the point, but can we take a moment to look at the absolute horrifyingly ugly wrap he has on this car? What is that? Who goes into a dealership or a detailer and asks for that? It kind of feels disrespectful to the car, but whatever. Let's get back to the point. Jack was speeding down the left lane, passing car after car, all while looking down at his phone to read chat. That alone is incredibly dangerous regardless of what speed you're going, and Jack was moving very fast. Because of the multiple stupid decisions being made in this clip, things started to go wrong. Jack would lose control of the car and send it spinning into the railing of the highway.
Whoa! Whoa! No! No! No!
Bystanders had to come and save him from the car, and they even had to break the window to carry him out.
Why is he filming that thing?
Help! Break the fucking window! Oh! Oh! Help! Oh, can you hold it? Oh, my f***ing car, bro.
Jack gets out of the car and
Dude,
immediately continues filming, and that's when he pans to his cameraman Michael, whose face looks basically drenched in blood, and asks Michael to hold the phone and keep filming.
Are you okay? Holy f***ing Michael, here. Michael, do you have film on that phone too?
The two went to the hospital after, and Michael, the cameraman, ended up needing stitches in his head.
He's getting stitches right now. But
Obviously, the whole situation caused a
Dude,
lot of
they could've
controversy. With
gotten
Jack
really
driving
hurt.
way too fast, reading his chat while driving, and putting so many people in danger, it's no doubt why people hated this. However, that wasn't even the worst of all of it. In fact, the people on the internet were most angry at Jack for asking his cameraman to continue recording after he got injured. And I think this backlash was definitely justified. He basically seemed like he cared more about his car than his actual friend and employee. However,
He
getting
cared more
public
about the
backlash
content,
was
for
not
sure.
something that was new to Jack at this point, and what really mattered in this situation was that this stupidity finally got him banned from Kick. Unfortunately, however, Kick would be stupid enough to unban him just a few months later. However, he was quickly banned again, this time for stream sniping somebody IRL, which we're not even gonna get into today, because we need to talk about the next person on this list who literally got kidnapped trying to make content, and his name is Arab. Arab, as many of you may know, was once a professional Fortnite player and coach, but now he's been doing traveling content where he goes to some of the most dangerous places in the world and gives us all an inside look. He first got into IRL content and streaming back in 2021 after he quit Fortnite, and little did he know this decision would change his life forever. He started off making relatively basic IRL content, like tasting fast food items.
We're back for the full Chick-fil-A menu challenge.
And going to Vegas buffets.
You got the wallet? You ready for this?
yo, tell me that.
That's sick.
So that way now, when I get kidnapped, people are 100% sure that it's my money.
Now you're gonna get checked at TSA for sure.
Yeah.
But as time went on, his streams stopped being a slice of life content, and instead he started to go way outside of his comfort zone and the comfort zones of pretty much all people. One of his first controversial trips was when he went to Turkey to look at illegal replicas of luxury items.
So we're at the Grand Bazaar today in Istanbul, Turkey, where they basically have really good fakes of different designer brands. We're going behind the scenes today with a friend that I met yesterday that I actually bought this watch off of. Super high quality. First quality is what they call it here in Turkey. And I like befriended him and he's gonna show us behind the scenes all their shops. They got like shops for everything. Like even the Yeezys I was buying yesterday, you can't tell the difference.
Once he realized that these videos were doing way better and he really started to enjoy them, he decided to stop streaming on Twitch and focus much more on the YouTube videos. This allowed him to go to even more dangerous places and to censor his content enough to make sure that he doesn't get banned from literally every social media platform. All of this led up to March 2024, where Arab decided to travel to Haiti. This was shortly after a do not travel notice was posted by the United States government for all Americans trying to go to Haiti. The reason for the no travel notice was because of different crimes, including robbery, carjackings, kidnappings, and so much more. Obviously, when there's a do not travel notice, most people decide to do exactly that and not travel there. However, Arab, being the content machine and daredevil that he is, thinks a little bit differently. In fact, I would probably say that this do not travel notice probably wanted to make him travel more than ever. After arriving, Arab sent this video to one of his editors.
So we actually cannot leave to Port-au-Prince until the morning because it's already 6 p.m. and if we leave right now, we'll get there while it's dark. It's about a 6-hour road trip. We'll get there while it's dark, and that place is completely run by gangs. So you don't want to be dealing with the gangs, even though we have safe passage, we're already approved. All it takes is one stupid gang member holding it 47 for one thing to go wrong. So
we didn't know it at the time, but that would be the last video that Arab would send his editors for a while, because later that day on March 14th, he would be taken hostage after being kidnapped by a dangerous Haitian gang.
Tonight, a Metro Atlanta man allegedly kidnapped by a dangerous gang in Haiti. The U.S. government now involved in this volatile situation, but the next steps are still uncertain.
And of course, Arab, being, himself, decided to secretly vlog the kidnapping process.
I've currently been kidnapped for 11 days after being smuggled into Haiti by Jungle, in order to interview Haiti's most powerful warlord, Barbecue. I was ambushed by the 400 Mawozo gang, driven into the desert of Croix-de-Bouquet, Haiti, and trapped in this exact cage, inside a barbed-wired prison. This is the bucket I've been showering in for the last 2 weeks. My toilet might as well be a hole, and I'm being fed cornmeal and beans. The kidnappers have just taken $38,000 of ransom money and are pretending they didn't.
Do you think we're gonna launch, or we're gonna try to take your money?
Thank God, Arab was eventually released on March 30th, 16 days after his kidnapping.
That's crazy, man.
And seemed to be largely unharmed. And if you thought Arab getting kidnapped was bad, our last streamer accidentally got over 65 people arrested in New York City. Kai Cenat, who is the biggest streamer in the entire world, had a mishap that took place just a couple years ago. For those of you that don't know, Kai started making videos all the way back in 2015 on Facebook, of all places.
Kai, shut the up, you nigga. You get no every time you go to school. Everyone look at your feet and say, what are those?
But eventually, he would move to YouTube.
I know a lot of y'all been asking, Kai, where's your YouTube channel? Why don't you have a YouTube channel? You need to start getting paid for what you're doing. Kai, where's your YouTube channel? I got one thing to say. Welcome to my YouTube channel!
Nice.
And then, of course, as probably all of you know, Kai absolutely exploded once he started streaming on Twitch. But his popularity came with some unexpected results, because on August 4th of 2023, Kai Cenat was supposed to have a New York City event where he was meeting up with fans and giving away a bunch of PS5s. And although on the surface this seems like just a cool, kind thing to do, he decided to hold this event in Union Square without bothering to get a permit or warn anybody that all of his fans would be showing up there. Kai, not realizing how big his platform had actually gotten, decided to post a bunch of advertisements on his social media promoting the giveaway, thinking that just a few people, or maybe just a couple hundred, would show up to meet him. However, that could not have been farther from the truth. Thousands, and
I never saw
even
this.
tens
I
of
know,
thousands
but
of
I never
people
saw this.
showed up to New York City, and more specifically, all collected in Union Square to meet Kai Cenat. For those of you that aren't from New York, Union Square isn't that big. It's just a small patch of grass in a very big city, and it certainly is not prepared for thousands of rabid fans. Despite the huge crowd, Kai still intended on doing his giveaway.
Welcome to New York, bro. I'm telling you, it's a lot of y'all out there right now. Everybody who's out there, make sure y'all safe. Appreciate everybody who popped out for y'all, bro. We gonna make sure it's safe. Bro, we're not gonna do nothing until it's safe. We gotta make sure it's safe. Everybody's good.
After him and his team thought it was safe, they got out of the car, and things did not exactly go to plan, because Kai got absolutely mobbed as soon as he got out of the car.
That's insane. Oh, hell no.
Things got so bad that the police showed up, and Kai had to be dragged out of the crowd of fans
Oh my God,
by the
somebody
NYPD.
picked him up.
However, just because Kai was back in the car didn't mean he had fully escaped. The van had to flee Union Square with a bunch of fans clinging to the side of the car.
It's mind-boggling why they're not stopping to let these people off the car. And then they're
no, they could have got off. They could have got off. They
for
shouldn't have
Kai,
got
he was
on.
able to
There's no
escape
way.
without
Come
getting
on.
seriously injured. Unfortunately, however, other people weren't so lucky. Back at Union Square, a riot broke out once the crowd realized that nobody was getting any PlayStations.
It's mayhem, like you mentioned, Natalie, them throwing items off of food trucks and so forth. So
they climbed to the tops of the subway station structures, up statues, traffic and lampposts, jumped on the tops of cars. A construction site in the park was damaged, and people weaponized items from that site like paint cans, bottles, axes, and shovels.
What?
They
Dude,
were
that's
fireworks
insane.
and flash bombs.
They just went up on right here, walking against traffic, like raging.
Why stay when things turned chaotic?
I just feel like it was fun. Like, for me, it's New York. It was literally YouTubers that came out to show love, and then it just got hectic.
Some businesses locked their doors as the crowd ran through. This 69-year-old man who operates a sidewalk food stand was injured, items stolen.
And perhaps the worst part of all of this is that because Kai didn't file a permit with the city to do this giveaway or meetup, the police were not prepared at all to handle a crowd of this size. The NYPD reportedly deployed over 1,000 extra officers in the area to make sure that nobody else showed up and to control the crowd.
We are looking at live images here, a lot of high-ranking members of the brass there on the scene now, trying to move this crowd along. Once again, at Union Square, the police department estimating at least a couple thousand people now, and we remind you that subways are bypassing the Union Square stations right now as they try to get a handle on this.
That's pretty bad, man.
Luckily, a couple hours later, by around 5 p.m., the cops were able to get the crowd to die down, but tons of damage had already been done.
It took hours to get the crowd out of the park.
That's
and
not
hours
right.
to clean up the mess. Trash, paint, a torn apart construction site, all evidence of a gathering gone wrong.
All in all, 65 people were
dude?
arrested, 30 of which were minors, and on top of that, 7 people were injured. One of them was a
What?
17-year-old who had a very gruesome injury from fireworks that people were setting off. On top of all of that, Kai would be taken into police custody and charged with inciting a riot.
Yeah.
However, he was released on bail the next day.
What happened to the PlayStations, guys?
What happened to the PlayStations?
Kai would later go on
What the heck?
stream talking about the giveaway and say he was very disappointed in the people who got violent.
I'm beyond disappointed in the things that went on Friday. And I want people to know that none of that was my intention. You feel what I'm saying? None of that. I had good intentions for this whole thing, and none of that was my intentions, bro. Not only that, but I don't condone any of the things that went on that day. None of that is cool. I'm seeing random videos of people getting sturdy on people's cars, and I'm asking myself while I'm watching the video, why? Like, why?
So I think it's safe to say that Kai is not going to be planning any events like this in the future, and if he does, he'll be getting the correct permits. That wraps up our list of times that streamers went way too far for views. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know it was a little bit different from my normal content, so comment down below how you like this video. Tell me what you want to see in the next one. Thank you always for watching the videos, and click here to watch another one. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Thank you so much for watching the video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. And if there's a video you want to see, let me know down in the comments below. Peace.